Hey, welcome back to Orchid Delirium. I'm Brenda, and today I'm showing you how I catalog my orchids across my Apple devices. Anything with a white background is going to be off of my phone, and anything with the black background is going to be off of my iPad. And you can see here I have an extensive list of my orchids. This is a Miltoniopsis that I just added, and I think we need to go back and see how we got here and how we build a catalog to begin with. So we're going to build a folder. On the bottom left of the screen, there's a new folder tab. We click on that and it will give us the option to name our folder, or yes, our folder. So I'm just going to name this Orchid Sample to keep it simple. You see it pops up within our folder list. It's empty, there's no notes in here. So we can click up to the right with little pencil notepad symbol, and we can add in whatever we like. Orchids. So we're working with orchids, right? So I'm just making up something dumb here. And you'll see that it pops up within the Orchid Sample folder. So say we're adding, we're cataloging a dozen and we want them alphabetized. What I do is I make just a blank folder with just the A, the B, the C, so on and so forth. And that creates a breakpoint for the folder to start alphabetizing your entries. So every time that I want to make one, I click on the pencil and pad, and then that kind of saves that note. And then we do that over and over. So you can also add people to have access to your folder. So say you're a couple, besties, or whatever, what have you. You can grant them access to make changes to the folder or view only. So you can just do that with other Apple users. And so now we're going to go on to creating our entry of our Miltoniopsis Komodo Red, I believe it is. And I got that totally wrong. Renee Komodo. And so I fill in the name. I am adding whatever bits of information that I like or think is pertinent, or will give me hints to maybe any problems that I saw on the plant to begin with, anything that I did when I repotted it, what media did I use, what was it in. I mean, the sky's the limit, really. But honestly, for me, the most important thing I think is a date if I purchased, where, and if I did any work on it, and everything else is just kind of extra. So I think just the more simple you keep it, the easier it is to kind of flip back and be like, oh, this happened. So when I got it in June, it looked really bad. It had snails. This is the condition it was in. And you can also add any cultural things you found, maybe tips for yourself for growing it, because I promise you, whether you have 5 or several dozen or a couple hundred or more orchids, you will not remember these finer details even within a month or two, unless you just have some amazing brain. But you can click on the bottom right where the camera figure is, and you can add pictures. You can add as many pictures as you want of whatever you think is noteworthy. And this is the white screen, so we're back onto my iPhone, and you can see that instantly it has appeared. So it's already across both of my devices and ready to go. So say I go to the store and I see a Miltoniopsis and I don't remember which ones I have, I can read the tag and I can look back at the names, or I can look at blooms if I have pictures of them, and compare them to the blooms I'm seeing. So it really helps to keep buying duplicates, kind of keeps that under control. But now I'm going to be adding my Dendrobium secundum, and we're going to walk through the steps again. So I had pressed the little notepad figure up on the right, and I started typing in the names, and again, any information that I felt was important. Down on the right, I clicked the take a photo, and here I am taking a photo. You might think, oh, why go through all this? Well, you might have some things with the plants that you're not going to remember, like this blemish here or this leaf. I can look back in a couple weeks or a month and see if there's any changes. Did the blemish grow? Is it not a blemish? Is it something more? Was that considered the terminal leaf? I can just look and see. I can see the condition of the roots. I can see things like that. I can compare. And there it is. We're on the white screen again, and that is on my iPhone. I can also edit it. It was misspelled, so I changed one of the letters, and so now I can edit from both sides. I can create from both sides, and they're interconnected, so I don't take my tablet with me anywhere. I leave it at home, but my iPhone comes with me, so I can do that. I can take it shopping with me. I can use my iPad at home when I want to see things bigger and in more detail. So what the next thing that I'm doing here is dealing with a plant that I've already had cataloged for a while. This is my Dendroculum bicolor, and I just needed to make a new note. It had been a while since I last documented anything on it, so I'm just adding the few things that I've been observing on it. And I get to also see like a common thread, like yet again I'm rotting off new growths. So I pressed my little camera picture down on the right, little figure, and I was able to take a picture of something that I felt noteworthy, and I wanted to add more photos, so I took another picture. But what I did do was I used a separator. So I went down to the last entry I had. Before I added a new one, I added a date and I added my notes. And here's a really good example on my Renanthera of why I think that it's useful to keep a catalog. And if I had not done that, I would not be able to see the growth difference, because to me this is still a very small plant, but it has done a lot of growing, and it would be easy to take that seeing it every day for granted. I also have a space for my wish list. Ever growing. I don't think that I tick off too many things on this list, but I also get to take screenshots and throw them in there, and I know that they're there organized somewhere. Now you may say, isn't there an app for this? Of course there's an app for this. There's not only one app, there's several apps, and most of them are built more or less in this same method. You make a title, you can add pictures, you can add details. You can add as many details as you want, although the benefit to the app is that it provides the questions for you. So you may not know what information you want to know, but this kind of encourages you to add certain information. So like if it won awards, if it died, if it has been treated for anything, it makes it easy to just fill it in. A lot of these apps are pay one fee and you own it. A couple, I believe, are a pay-as-you-go kind of monthly fee. But I used one of these apps, and I believe it's this one, and I downloaded it in my phone, paid the fee and everything, and I never utilized it. I had only added maybe 3 or 4 orchids, and I don't know. I wasn't as excited to use it as I was initially. I think initially I was just excited that there was something for the hobby, and I just didn't utilize it. And then one day I heard that the app got closed down and people lost their data that they had in there for a new version of the app to come out. So with this method I don't really have that problem. But now let's get into something more fun. Google has this little picture camera thing, and you click on it and you can take pictures of plants or use screen grabs, or you can take pictures of words. I mean, Google Lens is really fun overall, and you can use it on anything, anywhere, anytime, and it doesn't always yield the best search, but it's kind of fun and kind of addicting. And when it hits, it's like, oh my gosh, I got it right, you know. And I have at times used it to try to identify other people's no ID orchids, and sometimes it works, sometimes it gets me close, and sometimes it is completely off. Like this one is a Haliara, and it just has so much mixed in there that it cannot find an identification. It did know that this was a Dendrobium Latoria type. So if we go to Facebook, I'll show you how to do a screen grab. I took this Maxillaria and put it in, or took a screen grab, grabbed it from my photo album and put it into the Google Lens, and it gave me this as a return. I went in to see more results. It listed out more Maxillarias, some basic info, and basically took me to Google's search page. And sometimes it's exact, and sometimes it is just way off, but it's actually fun. I went into my grow tent to see if I could find something that will show you that it can actually yield results. That was a Sulphurnitis Saruna, and this is not the right Arangus, but it kind of went with Arangus, so that was pretty close. God, I'm really trying to redeem this Google Lens, but you have to use it in the Google app. My iPad does not have it. You can use it on the computer, but it is the Google app, so you can't just go to like google.com on your phone through Safari. So I'm just really trying to redeem it. At least this one got me to Epidendrum variety or species or whatever, but that was Epidendrum Propax. And anyway, it's just a little bit of fun. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for stopping by.